You believe in Hebrews, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that eventually. Right now?
No, I mean, right now, I was going to give you a verse so you can explain it to me from the Quran.
Because you were talking about sacrifice before, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Can you go to Hebrews 9:22? Watch this.
Hebrews.
After this, can we go back to?
Yeah, we'll go to the Quran.
But this is.
Yeah, no, I'll let you do your.
And your whole
9:22.
9:20. Yeah.
And according to the law, almost all things are purified with blood, and without shedding of blood, there is no remission.
Okay, there's no. Do you believe what this verse says, that without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sins?
Yeah, sure.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Okay, go to Psalm 40. Psalm chapter 40, verse 6. So this is a very clear question. Can God forgive without the shedding of blood? You said no, and Hebrew says no. Let's see what Psalm 40, verse 6 says.
I didn't say no.
You said no.
No, I said.
I heard you said, yeah, you agreed.
Because you said.
Okay, let's go back to Hebrews. We got to read this again.
You told me.
Because I don't want him to switch up. Let me get over
Let me repeat that question if I got it right. You told me there's no forgiveness of sin
without the shedding of blood, which means God cannot forgive without the shedding of blood.
That's right.
You believe that?
Okay.
So God cannot forgive without the shedding of blood.
I got that question.
Now let's go to Psalm 40. Psalm 40, verse 6. Remember, he said, there's no forgiveness of sin without the shedding of blood. God cannot forgive without
Psalm 40, verse 6.
Yeah.
Sacrifice and offering you did not desire. My ears you have opened. Burnt offering and sins offering you do not require.
So here's the question. Is it required or is it not? Hebrews 9 says it is required. Without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sin. Here, David, if you believe David wrote Psalms, says very clearly, burnt offering and sin offering you did not require. It's not required for the forgiveness of sins.
Which one is
So this is a direct contradiction between Psalm 40 verse 6 and what you believe Paul wrote in Hebrews chapter 9. He says there is no forgiveness of sin without the shedding of blood. David says sin sacrifice you do not require. So is it required or it's not required?
Well, first of all, you gotta remember that on the Old Testament, when it comes to Leviticus, it's like there's a whole temple.
No, we're not going to jump to Leviticus.
No, I get on the point of when it comes to sacrifice and all that, where you just explain how to do it. Like, you cannot...
But is it required?
Yeah.
Well, David says it's not required.
Now, that's what I'm trying to get.
He says sin offering, he's speaking to God. He's saying sin offering you did not require. You don't require sin offering.
All right. First of all, let me just speak for one whole minute.
That seems like plain English to me.
Let me just speak for 1 minute. All right, so I don't know the context of that verse right there. But wait, let me finish.
We're listening.
Let me finish. But some verses remember that the Israelites were especially the Leviticus.
The black Israelites?
No.
I'm just asking.
No, Leviticus.
But this is Psalms.
No, I know what I'm saying. From the tribe of Levi, the people were in charge of making the sacrifice. For example, the people from Nineveh, they were just told to repent. They were never made to make a sacrifice.
That means Hebrew is wrong. Because Hebrew says that there is no forgiveness.
There's no forgiveness without the shedding of blood, without a sin sacrifice.
Yeah, but
David says no, it's not required.
Because you're saying for some tribes you don't need it, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone can do a sacrifice. It's just.
But did they sacrifice on behalf of those people?
Yeah.
Okay, so could those people who didn't do the sacrifice, but it was done on behalf of them, could they be forgiven without the sacrifice?
Yeah, because again, if you, I don't want to paraphrase, but I think on Leviticus it says that if you're poor, you just give flour or bread, not a whole cow, because you cannot afford that.
No.
So
it mentions here, listen, so you're clear. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah, Psalm 40, watch this. There's no room to move around here. Psalm 40.
But you try you heard about that verse where it said if you're poor, you don't pay for
that. But that has nothing to do with it. It mentioned how much does a burnt offering cost?
Back then, I have
burnt offering is not money. Incense is not money. It's not a problem with money.
Psalm
yeah. So he's trying to say, they wouldn't sacrifice an animal because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
It mentions burnt offering and sin offering. Both are not required.
40. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire. My ears you have opened. Burnt offering and sin offering you did not require. So sin
It's both of
offering you
them.
did not require.
The incense are not required. The animal is not required. None of that stuff.
Which one is it?
I'm sorry, brother, but you can't twist out of this one.